Hi guys, I'm Tavimba and I'm a student here at Kent. I'm about to go into my third year at the university and I study multimedia design and technology. So today I'm just going to answer a few questions about what it's like to be a university student at Kent and what you can expect. So the first question I'm going to answer is about accommodation. So Kent has so many different types of accommodation. There's so many to choose from. I was in Elliot in my first year, and Elliot is actually catered accommodation, so you don't have to worry about making your own food. Okay, you can see me, great. You don't have to worry about making your own food. You don't have to worry about cooking. That's all done for you. So you basically get a key fob and you have a certain amount per day that you can spend on food. There's loads of places on campus where you can get food from. There's Woody's, which is like an American style bar. There's Mongo's. There's so many different food options. I was in a room, a hall with about six other people, and there was two bathrooms. So there's three people per bathroom, so you don't have to worry about it being too crowded, about there being too many people per hall. Like this, if you haven't gone en suite, you're not going to be overwhelmed. That's Ellie, and it's right in the middle of campus as well, so it's accessible to everything. But there's so many different types. Like for example, I spent a lot of time in Parkwood, which is on the other end of campus. So in Parkwood, you get flats and houses, and they're all self-catered. So that's where you cook for yourself, and you're responsible basically for feeding yourself. And there's loads of I think you can get either ensuite or you can share a bathroom in Parkwood. It just depends on what accommodation you go to. And that's pretty much the same all across campus. For example, you have Turing, which has en suites and is self catered. You have Darwin, which is self catered, or you have Rutherford, which is catered accommodation. So I'd recommend going for catered accommodation if you're not used to cooking or you just don't want to have the hassle of that. But if you are comfortable with it, then I do suggest going for self catered accommodation. Um, so the next question was how many societies are there and how did you join any? So there's a society for literally everything again, literally anything you can think of. There's Quidditch societies, there's religious societies, there's societies for your course, for any hobby you can think of, there'll be a society for it. So I actually joined the African Caribbean Society, which is the largest society on campus, and I'm to this day, this is my third year and I'm still a part of it. It's amazing. Join society is an amazing way to make friends. There's different events you can go to, there's socializing opportunities, and this is a really great way to get the most out of a university experience. So for example, we'd have games nights and quiz nights and stuff like that, so it's a really good opportunity to meet people outside your course that you might not have met otherwise. And then as you progress, so after your first year, you can actually run to be part of the committee. So I was a creatives officer, and there's a whole process. So you apply, then you do your speeches, and you get voted in. It's kind of like a mini electoral process. So it's actually really good experience in that sense. But yeah, and apart from that, there's so many different societies, and there's loads of sports societies as well. There's tennis, there's basketball, football, and it's amazing. Like, the university really cares about societies. I think it's a fundamental part of the university experience. I highly recommend joining one. Okay, next we have how are the sports facilities? Kent has really, really good sports facilities, and you guys are actually lucky because now all the first years get free gym membership, and that includes all the classes and all basically everything, all the equipment that you could possibly need. So the gym is actually split into two different what's the word, two different tiers basically. So you have all the weight section and stuff like that, and you have your cardio section. So it's really good. Whatever you want to focus on in the gym, you can go and do that. There's also a bunch of different sports halls that cater to all types of different sports. So you can do your basketball, you can do your football. We have squash courts, tennis courts. There's outside rugby fields. Just any sport basically is catered to. Through the sports society, I'm pretty sure you can also get bicycle hire. And because we do have such a large campus, like we're in the middle of Kent, which is the Garden of England, there's so much space. So if you do want to cycle from one end of campus to the other, you can hire a bike from Kent Sport, which is really, really helpful. And you can also rent out fields for you and your friends to go do specific things. So if you do want to play basketball with random people, if you're worried about there being too many people at once, you can book out the court for just like maybe five or six people for a period of time, which is amazing. Ken also offers loads of different courses like that you can do. So if you want to do different classes, there's physiotherapy. The sports facilities are great basically, and I highly recommend taking advantage of that, especially in your first year. Um, okay, next. talking about the library and study spaces. So the library is really the heart of university. Like it is huge. There's so much space. There's three different floors, and it's split between silent study and social study. So you, depending on what type of work you want to do, if you want to do group work or you want to work on your own, you can sit basically anywhere in the library. There is thousands and thousands of books to choose from, and we do, when you come to Kent, you'll have your own IT account and you can actually search what books the library has before going there, which is amazing. And then you can rent it out or you can reserve it just to make sure the book is actually there. There's also, it's connected to our Medway campus. So if we have a book that's not here but it's in Medway, you can get it in from Medway, or you can just order it like that. Um, there's also laptop hire. So if you don't want to take your laptop across campus, you can do it like that. You can, basically the facilities are amazing. And I'll jump back to answering this one after this question. So someone said, I'm from South London, what is Canterbury like? So Canterbury is a complete juxtaposition to well, the complete opposite of London basically. It is so green and so beautiful and so spacious. Like in London everything's kind of cramped together, everything's so close, but in Kent you have all the space. The campus is huge. Like if you wanted to walk around the campus, it would take you maybe like half 20 minutes maybe to get from one end to the other, which is amazing. And obviously depending on what course you do, you have different buildings, so not everyone's all together. So the business students have their building, history students have their building, so it's really good to just like get your space, get away. And then obviously we have a town center, which is really nice. It has pretty much everything you could need. I'm an avid shopper, I love to shop, and it's always suited me. There's loads of things to do. There's loads of restaurants, and like just walking around, we have this river that just goes through the town center. You can get on a boat and row through it. It's just, it's actually a really good place to socialize because obviously it's not huge as well, so like there's not as many people there. So when you do, like, the friendships you make, I feel like they're a lot stronger, and like there's a real community feel because you're seeing faces you recognize. It's not just seeing a bunch of strangers every day. And it is really nice. Like it is completely different, but it's really like it's a good different. Definitely. Got onto that one. So I'll jump back to the library. So yeah, going back to social spaces, you can book out different parts of the library as well. So say you and your friends want to study before an exam and you don't want distractions, you can book out a room in the library and you can all just sit there, do your work together without having to worry about anyone else coming in, without having to worry about not finding a space, which is great. And if you don't want to go to the library, because like I said, the library is like the main place on campus, so like most people do go there. There's loads of social spaces all across campus in the different um course course buildings. So if you go to a study hub, it's only going to be like what, 20 to 30 people there maximum, so it's really great if you just want to go somewhere a bit quieter. We have another question. Is there much to do in the evenings? So there actually is, and I feel like some people are quite surprised because Kent, you wouldn't always, obviously it's not a big city, so sometimes you think, oh, what is there to do? But it's actually really good. So first of all, on campus we have a nightclub called Venue, and they run, I think, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. So if you just want a quick night out, super easy to get to, it's great, it's local, it's super cheap, which is amazing. And then, like I said before, there's loads of bars and restaurants on campus, and they open till really late. Like Woody's opened recently. It's like a rooftop bar. You can just go up there. There's loads like sports bar when different events, different like games are on. They show them live, and obviously, like if you are a drinker, they do provide drinks that you can have as well. Have a lot of fun. And if you join a society, they always have events, like literally all the time. In Kent, Wednesday night is a designated society night. So all the societies go out, or they'll have like a party, or they'll have like an event or something that you can go to. And then you can meet loads of new people and just have a lot of fun. I think there is a huge range of things you can do. And then if you want, you can go into town. There's, I think, maybe 4 or 5 nightclubs in town. There's a bunch of bars that are open till really late. So you're not really going to be stuck on what to do. Yeah. And then what else have I gone over? Oh, locate like getting around Kent as well. So there's a bus service from campus into town which runs really regularly. So if you do want to go out with your friends at nighttime or like anytime during the day, the bus service is amazing. Kent also does have campus security who can escort you from one place to another like at night. So if say you were at an event or you're at somebody's accommodation or a party late at night and you don't want to go back to your accommodation alone, you can get escorted there, which is amazing, especially when you're in a new place. Sometimes you might feel a bit unsure about where you are or who's going to be around. So having campus security there is amazing. And there is loads of taxi services, and there's one I think that's specifically recommended by the university as well, which is great. Questions? Oh, one thing I forgot to say about societies as well is that you can create your own one. So if there is something that you're really passionate about and there's not a society for it, you can feel free to launch your own one. I think a friend of mine just launched a careers hub. I think it's called Career Hub, and basically it's just a source for people in university to like help them find jobs afterwards, preparing them for interviews and stuff like that. We do have a careers and employability service. So if you are like hesitant about what to do, if you need help with your CV, if you need help with basically getting into the workforce, then we do have our service available, or you can, go find other means to do so. Okay, another question that just came in. I don't know anyone else coming to Kent. Is it easy to meet people, or is it just who you end up living with? So it's not just who you end up living with. Some people get really lucky and they just love all their housemates and they all get along, but that isn't the case for everybody. So I think again I'll go back to what I was saying about societies before. Societies are the best way to meet people. And obviously because you're only going to join societies that interest you, you're going to meet people with common interest. It won't just be random people. So I highly, highly, highly recommend to you to join a society. It's a great way to meet people, great way to interact with people that are outside your course as well. Because, like you said, university is a whole new experience. You might not know people who are coming here, and it can be quite easy to get lost. So, I think not just your accommodation, but your course and societies are the best way to meet people. And obviously, you have to remember that everyone's coming to university as like a new person. It's a new experience to everyone. Like, you're not the only one who's going to be feeling that way. So I wouldn't be too concerned about not meeting people because everyone's going to be so willing to. Another question is how much sport is there on campus? There is a lot of sports. So, like I said, there's loads of sports societies. They have games. There's varsity that happens every year with us and CCU. So basically competing against each other. There's so many, any sport you can think of, tennis, basketball, everything. There's sports for that. And then when you come to Ken, you're put into a house. So I'm in Elliot House as well, and you can get into house like competitions. So if you don't want to be on the main football team, you can just be in a football team for your house, and you play within the university. The sporting facilities are extensive. Like there's so many. There's fields, there's different courts and everything, and you can hire equipment from Kent Sports if need be as well. So if you want to come to Kent for sports, I think it's a great place to come to. Like you're not going to run out of things to do. And like I said, you have a gym as well where you can go for training. If you join a sports society, they normally do spend a lot of time in the gym, so having that for free is really helpful. And then what else could we talk about? The I think I've already touched on the employability service, but also when you're in university, I think sometimes it's your first time really handling money by yourself. So having a job is actually really useful for a lot of people. So Ken is super helpful with helping you find a job. So we have a job shop on campus, which basically shows you all the part-time jobs that are on campus and even off campus in town. So if that is something you want to do, Ken is really helpful for it. And like I said, with the employability service, it's more about preparing you for leaving university. So when you need to write your CVs and then write your cover letters and stuff, it is so helpful. And because you need to remember, like, university is a stepping stone, so having that support whilst you're in university to prepare you for afterwards is amazing. Another question: I've seen the free sports offer. What does that cover? Literally everything to do with the gym is covered. So you get your gym membership, you get all the equipment, so like all the weights, mats, etc. You can use all of that for free. And then you can, I believe you can also book courses, not courses, sorry, classes for free. So like there's like spinning classes and then just things like that. I'm pretty sure everything is all inclusive. We will post a link to the Kent Sports website, so just so you can go over and check. But yeah, basically everything is included in that offer, which is amazing. I wish I had that when we first came, because I did have a gym, a membership in first year, um, and I did use the gym quite often. I think it's really useful, and obviously when you live on campus, it's about a 5 minute walk, so it's so useful to have it. So yeah, if you do have any more questions, just pop it in the chat next to the video. But And I think one oh sorry, I keep jumping back to things that I've already gone over. But one more thing with accommodation, if you are in catered accommodation, you do come with a kitchenette. Like they don't just leave you with nothing. So in your kitchenette, you get a microwave, you get your kettle, you get your own mini fridge and stuff like that. So you don't have to just wait for your fob. Like you do have some control over the amount of food you're gonna get. Another question: I am based at the Medway campus. Is it easy to get from the Canterbury campus from there? So yeah, basically there's a shuttle that runs between Canterbury and Medway, and that shuttle is completely free for students. So yeah, I'm not sure how often it runs. I believe it's every hour, but yes, it's completely free. I believe it's maybe a half-hour journey, so it's nothing bad at all. And people do come from Medway and to campus and Medway to Canterbury and back all the time. Obviously, like the Medway library is huge, so a lot of Canterbury students like to go there and study, and vice versa. Both campuses are great, and they both provide just very different, like, not all, don't say lifestyles, but very different experiences. So people do often go between the two. So yeah, super easy to get between the campuses. Okay, I think I'll see if there's any more questions to go through, because I believe I've covered most of them. Wes is in the comment section, by the way, so if there is any other questions you'd want, or if there's any links you want for anything, just feel free to just ask him and he will send them through. Okay, I believe there's no more questions so far. I'm wrong. This is my first time away from home. How much should I bring with me? That is a very hard question to answer. Um, I think a common thing that first year students do is they overpack. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is you're going to uni, you're not moving countries, you don't need to bring everything you've ever owned, especially because although like the accommodation rooms are a very decent size. In my first year, I bought way too much with me. I bought clothes that I never even wore. I bought all my like jewelry stands, all my decorative stuff, and moving in is fine, but then when you're moving back, it does make it quite difficult. So I think just make sure you're only bringing stuff that you need, and remember you're going home a few times in the year anyway. So for example, for Easter, so don't bring all your summer clothes in the winter term. You can go home in Easter and bring them then, kind of thing. But then there's some other things that people do forget. So make sure that you bring in all your kitchen appliances if you're in self-catered accommodation. So things like cheese graters, peelers, things that people quite often forget about, like they that are really important, like a whisk. Everyone forgets a whisk, and that's super important. But you do get obviously the basic big appliances, so like a kettle, microwave. You get all of that given to you, so I wouldn't worry about the big things. And then obviously all your stationery things that you're going to need for your course. So if you do look up your course on the account website, they normally tell you what you're going to be going over, and the university does provide you with everything you need. But there might be certain stuff that is course specific that you know that you need to bring. So, for example, I don't know, a calculator. Don't forget that if you're doing mathematics, they'll give you one, but just I think just be conscientious with it. Make sure you're bringing what you need for your course. Um, but yeah, I think don't overpack is just my main thing, and don't overthink it. Just bring everything that you feel comfortable, you think you need, and remember that you can go home and get more stuff. You don't have to bring your whole life with you. Oh, and another thing about Medway campus, obviously you can go there whenever you want. It's not just for Medway students, the same way Canterbury isn't just for Canterbury students. There's loads of things to do in Medway, loads of things to do in Canterbury, and like I said, there's a free shuttle, so it's completely interchangeable. And okay, so I think that's all the questions we've had. Any last bits of advice? I think honestly, university is an amazing experience. Obviously, it can be quite nerve wracking at first, but once you get into the swing of it, it is so fun. And honestly, been one of the best experiences of my life. I think just remember to stay open minded. So you're going to this whole new place, and you need to remember that everyone else is starting this journey with you. No one else in first year really knows what university is going to be like. Everyone's going to be willing to make friends, everybody's going to be willing to put themselves out there, so just make sure you're ready to be part of that as well. And honestly, just have fun. Like, you're finally studying the only one thing that you want to focus on. I know A levels are super stressful, going over a bunch of subjects. So university, you're finally focused on what you want to do. You get the first taste of freedom, which is super fun. So I think honestly, just make the most out of it. You only go to uni, well, most people only go to university once. So honestly, make the most out of it and just have fun. I think that's good advice. Okay, so I think that's been all for the questions. Well, thank you for listening to me. I believe this video is going to stay up on the page, so if you do want to refer to it, it will be there. And let us know if there is any more questions you want to ask. My DMs are open if you want to ask me any private questions, and obviously remember to post on the freshers group if you want to get in contact with anyone from the university. So enjoy your time. We look forward to having you, and thank you for watching.